Alright, I'd like to go through the calculations, and then your job will be to figure out the percent yield. So if you're watching this video, you'll take the data from my lab. But here's the deal. Everybody started with 2.0 grams of NaHCO3. That is the formula for baking soda. So we're going to have to do a gram-to-gram problem to figure out how much NaCl this lab was supposed to generate. So the next step is to convert grams to mole. So on the bottom you see 84 grams of NaHCO3, and on the top is 1 mole of NaHCO3, which is baking soda. The 84 grams is coming from the periodic table. You have to look up the mass numbers of each of those chemicals. Okay, now the next step, this is our mole to mole ratio. So at the bottom we have 1 mole of baking soda, and on the top is 1 mole of NaCl, which is salt. Now where are the number ones coming from? They are coming from this balanced equation. Okay, so baking soda plus the hydrochloric acid gave you salt, water, and carbon dioxide. So it is already balanced. So these numbers 1 to 1 are coming from the balanced equation. If no numbers are put there, we assume it to be 1. And the last step is to convert moles to grams, because we're trying to figure out how many grams of NaCl we were supposed to generate. So it's 1 mole of NaCl on the bottom. The 58 grams of NaCl is coming from the periodic table. You have to look up the mass numbers. The answer to this problem is 1.38 grams. So if you start with 2 grams of baking soda, you should be able to generate 1.38 grams of sodium chloride. Now, I provided all the data as you watched this lab, so you should have been filling it in. So, how much was actually generated? Well, you have to do what's called percent yield, and it's actual over theoretical times 100. Theoretical is what you were supposed to get, so that's why there's 1.38 grams on the bottom. Actual or experimental is what you got in lab, and this is coming from step number 5. So we weighed everything at the end, the NaCl plus the evaporating dish plus the lid. So what you need to do is subtract that final mass from the original mass of the dish and the lid, because you don't want that factoring into your product. So here's the deal. If your value is over 1.38 grams, it means you didn't dry it enough and you have too much water in your product. So we'll see. What is the percent yield of this lab? That is your final calculation.